Hold the question. Be in that situation. Your mother abandoned you for alcohol. Is it true?
It's
a yes or no.
She chose alcohol instead.
So it's a yes or no. Yes. See, we're okay. Excellent. Yes. Didn't that sound true to you? Yeah. So it's like, but the answer's supposed to be no. No, this is your inquiry. Your authentic yes and no. That's what's required. This is where we take our own minds back. It's like a showdown with the self. Your mother abandoned you for alcohol. Can you absolutely know that she abandoned you?
No. I can't know what she was thinking. I just know how I was feeling.
Yeah. That's remarkable. We cannot know another person's mind or experience. Isn't it enough to know our own? I mean, that'll keep us busy. It's like, I think I'll think for my mother. I mean, that way I never have to know myself. Never going to happen. I think I'll just think for you all my life. Don't get very far, do we? So notice how you react. What happens when you think this thought? My mother abandoned me for alcohol. Notice what happens first to your feelings, your emotions.
I get enraged.
And how do you treat your mother when you think this thought? She abandoned me for alcohol.
How do I treat her?
Yes.
How did I? She's passed away now.
Well, so that has nothing to do with the images in your head.
Okay.
So let's hold it just a moment. When you're doing inquiry, go back to that situation. You don't have to guess at how you react when you believe the thought. It's here. I can see that woman standing in the kitchen with him. She's a maniac. Mm-hmm. She was so out of her mind with fear and anger. Thinking at the same time, this is only for his own good. Like all that violence is going to change, it's going to help him quit smoking so that he doesn't die of another heart attack. Only for his own good. When I look at that maniac, that terrified woman, how many of you see me standing in the kitchen right now? Okay, and you weren't even there. Some of you weren't even born yet. But it doesn't stop the mind. Okay? So how do I react when I think the thought? I don't have to guess. How do I react when I think the thought, he should stop smoking? I'm just, I am being shown. I am being shown how I react when I believed that thought. I see that crazed woman. I see her attacking him. I see her interrupting him, overriding him, calling him a liar. I see him. How many of you see Paul as I'm coming at him? Poor man. Mm-hmm. So I'm beginning to experience some compassion here for both of them. How many of you see that? How many of you see the innocence of both? So as you sit in, how do I react when I believe that thought? It is shown to you. Just keep keep the images of that situation, and it will show you, it will wake you up. As we continue. So how do you react, sweetheart? How do you treat your mother? That's how we react when we think the thought, she abandoned me for alcohol.
I send messages of disappointment and disrespect and just kind of loathing of her.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Now, beautiful man, how old were you in this situation?
7, 8, 9, 10.
So beautiful young man, beautiful little boy. So close your eyes. You see your mother in that situation. Who would you be without the thought, she abandoned me for alcohol? So this is the point where you witness who you would be without the thought, where you really, in this case, you see your mother, no matter how drunk she is, or sober she is, or falling down she is, or cruel she is, you witness who would you be? What would you be in that situation without your story? She abandoned me for alcohol. This is the place where some people experience compassion, real compassion for the first time. And gratitude. So little boy, who would you be without the thought, she abandoned me for alcohol, as you witness?
I would be a little boy or a young man who was calm and undisturbed and patient, and just loving her. I'd be dancing in the light, just unconcerned.
So little boy, she abandoned you for alcohol. Turn it around. Find an opposite to that statement. I abandoned her for. She abandoned me for alcohol. I abandoned her.
For self-pity. For victimhood.
It's quite a drug.
For poor me.
Quite a drug.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Drunk with it. Blind with it. Deaf with it. When you're doing this work at home, sit in it as these things arise within you, as you're shown. Sit in it. It's like, as long as there are tears there, give them their life. They have a right to life. And any of the sounds or screams, they have a right to life. And it's kind if you do it appropriately. You know, at first you may need maybe your own space for it. But for me, I was in a hurry. My family learned just to walk around me, step over me. They just knew this is something I had to get done. And another turnaround, she abandoned me for alcohol. She abandoned me for alcohol. What about she didn't? These turnarounds, find opposites. My mother abandoned me for alcohol. My mother did not abandon me for alcohol. And your mind will say, no, that's not possible, she did. But just trust these turnarounds. Just notice and come back. My mother, let's see. My mother didn't abandon me for alcohol. And find examples. Give them a chance. Because that I know mind will say, no, I'll just move on to the next one. But just notice that I know mind, find your examples.
Got it.
Give me examples. My mother didn't abandon me for alcohol.
She didn't abandon me for alcohol. She loved me the best she could. She just was dulling out her own pain and suffering.
I couldn't
She
hear
was
you.
dulling out her own pain and suffering. But she didn't attack me or hurt me on purpose.
So another example, she didn't abandon me for alcohol. You're right on. Can you find another example?
Yeah, she medicated herself from the pain of the burdens that she was experiencing.
Yeah, she's just like you. She didn't know another way.
Too much to handle. 4 children, no husband. My dad died when we were young. And she had no... I think she was just buried and overwhelmed with the responsibility.
Yeah, she found alcohol. You found self-pity. A couple of drunks.
Yeah. It's easier that way. It's easier to
Well,
think
now
of it
you
this
understand
way.
your mother a little better.
Yeah. It's easier not to be angry with her. It's clear. It feels better.
Oh, yeah. Love is the power. That's the match to your heart. And, that's the purpose of inquiry. Home, home, home. The mind, anything it believes that would go against what is beautiful is going to feel like self-pity, stress, guilt. But the mind's only gonna, it's only gonna find itself in the real deal, the authentic. So let's continue. Continue to read. What did you write for statement number 2?
I want Mom to be strong.
You want your mother to be strong. Little boy, is that true?
Yes, and.
Okay, so just yes.
Yeah, I want her to be strong.
Okay, now just relax into that. Little boy, you want your mom to be strong. Can you absolutely know that that's true? Yes. That it's true that that's what you want?
Yeah.
Little boy, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? I want my mother to be strong, and she is out of touch with alcohol.
I feel safe. I feel taken care of. I feel less vulnerable.
Well, let's answer the question, how do you react when you think the thought, I want my mother to be strong, and she's not? She's drunk, and you're thinking the thought, I want her to be strong. She's not even capable of it. How do you react when you think that thought, I want her to be strong?
I feel a little selfish. I feel like I'm demanding of her something that she may not be able to do.
And how do you treat her? And how do you treat yourself when you think the thought, I want her to be strong? And she's drunk.
I just get all fogged up.
basically.
Yeah, just everything just gets foggy.
Yeah. So now, in that situation, who would you be without that thought, without that requirement placed on your mother? Who would you be without the thought, I want her to be strong? So close your eyes and witness. You see her, she's just a mess. You see you, that little boy. Who would you be without the thought, I want her to be strong?
I would be seeking strength within myself instead of demanding it from her.
Yeah, taking care of business, taking care of your siblings, taking care of her, taking care of you.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to be strong, hopeless, turn it around. I want me.
I want me to be strong.
So little boy, little 7-year-old boy,
Mm-hmm.
give me an example of why that makes sense.
Because that's the fact. That's the only option, is to let go of the idea that I have to have her nurturing me when she's not capable, and I just have to find inner strength.
Which you had. Look what you did. Look what you took care of. You got things done.
I got one.
You got things done.
I did. I survived.
Yeah. So I want me to be strong.
Right.
Okay? So can you find another turnaround? I want her to be strong.
So that she doesn't suffer so much.
Well, we're looking for another turnaround.
Oh.
I want her to be strong. I have one. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
I don't want her to be strong.
Oh. I just fogged up again.
So give me an example. I don't want her to be strong. How many of you are in this inquiry right now? Okay, give me an example in your experience. I don't want her to be strong. Karen? From that little 7-year-old position or your position?
Because that way you can keep your story and you can be that little whiny, cryy person. Like I'm not me. I've done that. It's like, oh, if they're all, I'm like I'm so weak. And I get to be the weak identity.
That's really powerful. I don't want her to be strong. How can I be that whiny, whatever it was you described? Yeah.
Oh, then my story has to be changed. Thank you. Have to rewrite this script.
I think it's rewriting itself.
That's just liberating.
Yeah, it could give you a healthy life.
Oh, this is delightful. You should try it. You are so lovely.
So if someone,
I'd like to introduce to the new me.
So if someone says, was your mother an alcoholic? You can say, yes. And was it hard on you? No, but I was.
It is so silly. The whole
You know, believers have a hard life. Hard. Life is suffering as a believer.
this is much lighter.
I'm not surprised.
Much lighter.
So I want her, you want her to be strong. I want her to be strong. Let's look at the next one.
Number 3, you mean? Mom should get help.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Your mom, little boy, your mom should get help. Can you absolutely know that it's true that she should get help?
Yes, she should have gotten more help.
And how do you react when you think that thought? She should get help and she drinks.
Disappointed that she took the easy way out.
Okay, so this is really important when you're doing inquiry. How do you react when you think that thought?
Oh.
Disappointed because she, okay? Now, disappointed is answering the question. Because she, when you go off in that direction, you're no longer doing inquiry. You're doing it the old way. That's how they did it in the old paradigm where they still had war on the planet. This is inquiry. We're trying something new now. Because, I'm right, I'm sure. Okay, so how do I react when I think the thought she should get help? How do I react? Not how does she react and why. Okay, clear enough? How do you react when you think the thought she should get help? What happens? How do you react, little boy?
Fear. Fear that this is going to turn out badly.
And where do you feel that fear, little boy?
Right here in my heart and here. I still feel it right now.
Now, it's important in that third question that you identify the feelings and emotions, that you get that open and you feel it, okay? And you be with it. Because as you're living your life, you'll associate that feeling when you're in a story that you could save yourself from. In other words, feelings and emotions are like the little temple bells saying, you know, you're believing something that you could really take to inquiry. So she should get help. How do you react? How do you react when you think that thought? Anything else? You feel it in your heart, in that area. So close your eyes. You don't have to guess. How do you treat her? How do you treat yourself when you think the thought she should get help and she doesn't?
Sad. I just feel sad.
And how do you treat her when you're sad? And how do you treat your siblings when you're sad and you're thinking the thought she should get help? You see all your answers coming through images? That's what the answers are. Inside, they'll show you. It's just getting still enough to honor them, to witness them, to receive them. They wake you up. They wake you up to reality. And these questions take you there. She should get help. So in that situation, who would you be without the thought she should get help? Little boy, who would you be without the thought she should get help?
I'd be out of her business and into my own business.
So do you see the images?
Yeah, I would be operating in the world, in her presence, without trying to control her life.
Yeah. So she should get help, turned around eye.
Should get help.
Yeah. And you just did, your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I think you should get help, I need help.
Yeah.
I mean, why should two of us not have help? One is enough. So she should get help.
Right.
Is that, can you find she should not get help?
Can I find
Examples for it, this turnaround, she should not get help?
I can't find one.
I have two of them. Would you like to hear them?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, she doesn't need help. She has alcohol. That's just where she's at. It's where she's at. You have self-pity. She has alcohol. Everyone has help.
Yeah, but you've had more experience than I have.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of experience sitting in these. And when you sit in them, it'll all come to you. If you can hear my voice, it's yours already.
Right.
And it was yours before you heard them.
Uh-huh.
She should get help. Turned around, she should not get help. I have another one, another example. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. She has you.
And she used me.
Oh, really? Who used who? Who used who? Who used who?
Well, she
She used alcohol to feel, she used alcohol and you used her.
Well, what popped into my head is that she relied on me to be a comforter.
Why would she have to rely on you? She wouldn't even have to do that much.
She did.
Okay,
Well,
see if
but
you
I
can hear
offered
this. Good catch.
But I offered it.
Yeah.
I became her savior and her comforter. That's it.
So that's why she shouldn't get help. She had you. And so quick to volunteer.
Uh-huh. That's what happened.
So next time you think they thought she should get help, you just experience laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Before inquiry, she should get help. Oh. After inquiry, she get help. Laughter. You can see a picture of that little boy volunteering, and you're awake. Volunteering is how you stayed in that I am a victim identity.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say she used me, it's like who used who? Or who used whom or something.
She called for help and I responded. Willingly. I did.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very sweet.
Hmm?
That's very sweet.
Well, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
It's better than alcohol. I loved her very much.
You sure did. And do. There's nothing we can do about that. No inquiry can take that from you. Believing your thoughts can lead you to believe you don't love her, but it can never be. You love her, that's it. That's what we're stuck with. Does that kind of come out wrong? I mean, there's just nothing we can do about it. That's our true nature. That's the heart. That's it. If I have the thought, I don't love my mother, or my mother doesn't love me, I'm going to feel that stress, but I can't convince myself it's not true. I have to experience and understand the heart, which is what we're witnessing here. The real thing. So read the next one.
Number 4. I need Mom to think of the well-being of her children as primary and say, I'll take care of you, and feel strong and turn away from alcohol.
So turn it around. Read it all toward you.
I need Pat.
I need me.
I need me to think of the well-being of I don't know.
Just read it the way you wrote it.
Of the children.
Yes.
As primarily, and say, I'll take care of you, feel strong, and turn away from self-pity. I like that better.
And also turn away from focusing on my mother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She couldn't do it. Okay, so I need my mom to think of the well-being of the children as primarily, and say, I'll take care of you, and turn away from alcohol. That's a sentence that's so long, you know. So if you keep it very short, it may be easier for you at home, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for now, it's okay. So read it the way you wrote it. I don't need Mom.
I don't need Mom to think of the well-being of us, her children, as primary, and take care of us and feel strong and turn away from alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
No. Look at that little boy. Look at that little boy.
I'm looking
He's
at him.
amazing.
Yeah. Towering little boy.
Truly.
Didn't know it at the time, but I can see him now.
Yeah. I invite you when you go home to sit in it and be with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just... Okay, so the next one.
5. What do you, Mom? It says, what do you think of them in this situation? Mom is weak, selfish, embarrassing, and disappointment to me.
So your mom is weak. Is that true?
No.
How do you react, little boy, when you think the thought, Mom is weak?
That I'm judging her beyond the need to judge her.
And how do you react when you think the thought, Mom is weak? When you think that thought, what happens, little boy?
I feel like I'm indicting her, but I'm really indicting myself.
And at the time, little boy, how do you react when you think the thought, my mom is weak? How does that feel inside of you when you think that thought?
At the time,
which is
It
always
feels
what we're talking about
I
in
got
inquiry.
I got back there. Okay, at the time I feel afraid. I feel fearful. Like, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to help me become a man?
So now, holding that image, witness that little boy. Little boy, who would you be without the thought, Mom is weak? Who are you without that thought? Mom is weak.
Self-reliant and strong. Yeah. I have my own inner strength.
Look at you, taking care of yourself, taking care of your siblings, taking care of your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly weak. So, Mom is weak. Turn it around. Mom is strong.
Mom is strong.
Give me an example. Mom is strong. In that situation, what are her strengths? Witness. They'll be shown to you. Mom is strong.
She copes with humor. And she unburdens herself with playfulness. Just lovely playfulness. And she fights. She fights hard. She fights hard for her sanity and for her sobriety and for her children. She really did.
I get it. I love you. Catch up to that. Mom is strong. Give me another example.
She took advantage of the resources that were available to her.
Give me another example. Mom is strong.
She gave us religion and spirituality.
Give me another example. Mom is strong.
She gave us moral integrity,
Yeah.
values,
Yes.
being good people.
Yes. Give me another example. Mom is strong.
This is so painful. She left behind strong children. All four of us are doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except, of course, for today.
Well, some of us think you're doing okay today.
Well, yeah, that was a misstatement. But she gave us such power, such strength. She did. And humor, and an appreciation of beauty and drama.
So your mom was embarrassing. Is that true?
Yeah. I could tell you stories.
Okay. So when I said your mom embarrasses you, okay? In that moment, you saw an image.
Yeah.
And then you said, yeah, it's true.
Uh-huh.
So we're answering all the time out of those images of past and future. And you think that's integrity. Look what you're trusting. Nothing. Simply nothing. Okay, so I mean, that's just like a will o' the wisp. You know, you just, is it true? You see the image, yes. And you live your life like that. That's unconsciousness. That's asleepness. So let's consider. Your mom embarrassed you. Notice how you react when you think the thought, she embarrasses me.
No, it changed immediately. She didn't embarrass me.
I think you're getting the hang of this thing.
I chose to feel embarrassed. I chose to judge her and how the world perceived us. She didn't do it.
You get it.
She didn't do it.
It's not possible that anyone could embarrass you.
No.
It's what you're believing about the world and your mother that embarrassed you.
Right.
How many of you think you could hear that? Isn't that simple?
Just let it go another one.
Well, maybe it's letting go of you.
Whichever, it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I'm letting go of this. What if it's letting go of me? What if that is the power of enlightenment? Waking up. Freedom. So we want it to let go of us. And once we're awake to it, it lets go. It lets go. So my mom embarrassed me, turned around, I embarrassed my mom.
I embarrassed my mom. I'm not connecting that with anything.
Okay, well, later you might find some examples, and then you make amends.
Yeah.
And you say your mother is dead, even though she's still living in your head.
Mm-hmm.
That's where everyone lives, dead or alive, in your head,
Mm-hmm.
without exception.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you can make amends is, just...
I got it. I embarrassed her by, when you're speaking, I embarrassed her by being disapproving or judgmental when we're in the same room with other people. And she's embarrassed because she feels my judgment on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did embarrass her.
So the way you make amends for that is if you find yourself doing that with any other human being again, as soon as you catch it, you admit it, you apologize, you start over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you live in the present moment. You just don't leave any breadcrumbs behind you.
Mm-hmm.
We just take care of it, take care of it. Inquiry, we take care of it. There's a whole 180-degree shift. And then we just keep it clean. It's just like cleaning out the little corners as we go. Okay, so your mother was a disappointment to you. Is that true?
No.
Good to know, isn't it?
Yes.
My goodness. So the next one. Don't you just want to get up and dance? Don't you love that everything happens on time? Nothing out of order, neat little song, there it is.
Number 6. What is it in or about this situation that you don't ever want to experience again? I don't ever want to experience abandonment, vulnerability, fear, insecurity.
Oh, this is so exciting. I'm willing to.
I'm willing to experience abandonment, vulnerability, fear, insecurity.
I look forward to.
I look forward to experiencing vulnerability and insecurity.
Now that's exciting now that you know what to do
It
with
truly
it.
is.
It really is.
Because I'm a lot stronger now.
Yeah. Yes.
Let it come. I don't care.
You know, it is. It's like life, bring it on.
Yeah.
And all of it. It's like the worst that can happen, bring it on, because the way the universe is set up, the way the world is set up, is no matter what comes, it's what I'm believing about it that's all the suffering that's ever going to happen. Life, as we've seen through you, life cannot hurt us. It's what we're believing about life that hurts us. Your mother never hurt you. What you were believing about your mother was all the pain you experienced. Thank you, precious.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.